Man City have lost 4-3 to Al Hilal, getting booted out of the Club World Cup. Such a disappointing result. In this video, we'll break down all the goals, all the big moments, and where this leaves Man City going on into next season. Because it's certainly disappointing, and an overview from the game has to be that it's very, very reminiscent of the FA Cup final loss, the Premier League campaign last season, the Champions League exit to Real Madrid last season as well. Make sure you subscribe if you're brand new, would really appreciate it. Ultimately, City started off the game very, very well. A beautiful interchange between Reinders flicking the ball over to Ait-Nouri, who's had a fantastic tournament. So is Reinders, by the way. Into Bernardo Silva, who flicks it into the goal. At that point, with the amount of the ball that Man City had, such a high amount of possession throughout the game, I'm expecting City, especially with Reinders in that midfield, to control it and make it a compact midfield, slow the game down. I actually can't believe that 7 goals were scored in this game, because I thought City's approach after the first one, particularly at this stage in the Club World Cup, would be to limit the exposure to Al Hilal on the ball. And it felt that every time Al Hilal got an opportunity, particularly with Malcolm, who was absolutely sensational in the game, so was Cancelo, that it was so open-ended that Man City had no control, even though a lot of the ball was played at Manchester City's feet. Al Hilal were still able to do a lot of damage, and that is a big concern going into next season, particularly when you're looking at the strength of the side that started the game, and then you're 1-0 up as well. In this kind of fixture, Man City usually stranglehold sides out of it, and it didn't happen, and that is that it has to be a concern. It's not a concern if there's 7 academy players in this kind of game. The amount of quality in the side, and I know for a fact that City fans, Guardiola, the ownership, all want to win this competition as well and put Man City more on a global stage, even more than the club is. So the fact that there kind of isn't an approach to be professional and get it over the line against Al Hilal from a 1-0 position is a touch concerning. These are the facts. Leonardo pounces on an Ederson sort of bit of a mistake, unsure goalkeeping, taps it into an open net. It's a brilliant ball in from Cancelo, who gets fed by Malcolm, who is dangerous all game. This is the real moment now. Now we're in a fresh season going into the start of the new campaign. We've all got a brand new kit. We've got brand new signings. Ederson, for me, looked like a real sticking point throughout the game. Made a couple of kind of semi-decisions to try and clear things. It looked a little bit like he's on a downward trajectory as a keeper, and I think he's one of the most underrated keepers in the history of the Premier League. And ultimately, in this game, he might have actually cost Man City, like he cost, arguably, Man City in the Real Madrid game in the Champions League. Today, it just felt like too many nervous moments from Ederson. It was a touch concerning. Malcolm makes it 2-1, putting massive pressure on City. It's a 1-1 position, and Man City are so open-ended. It's outrageous. And you give a player as high a quality as Malcolm running through one-on-one. How's he got the space? And again, it's Cancelo feeding it with an outrageous ball around the corner. But how's he got that much space? How can he be in a position where he can't even be offside? Because the ball's being played from such an early position. Why is there no Man City player around him? It's outrageous to leave that much space for Malcolm. It's crazy. It's a beautiful finish. Again, one-on-one with Ederson. Does Schmeichel put him under more pressure? Particularly when you look at the way he finished it on his left foot into the far corner. He hasn't opened his body into on the other side of the pitch. He's actually shooting from a narrow position. And you're thinking, could Ederson narrow the shooting range for Malcolm? And it doesn't work. There is an argument with that much running time towards the keeper. Could you do a little bit more if you're Ederson as well? I would argue so, because he's finished it in a very small, narrow part of the keeper. Again, if it's Thierry Henry opening up on his right foot, it's a different story. But one-on-one with Ederson, it never felt like Ederson was ever going to get close to it. And again, another concern in that regard. Erling Haaland scores his 301st goal in his career, taking him way past the likes of David Trezeguet, Marco van Basten. It's absolutely outrageous, and he's still in his early 20s. Outstanding. And you have to say one positive from the campaign is Erling Haaland, who scored in nearly every round of the Club World Cup. So see him a little bit more confident in goal, picking up goals every single game, basically, except for the first round. Ultimately, you're looking at a guy that does look a little bit more confident. It was a cute finish in the box. He's always going to be dangerous when anything bounces in the opposition box, and he tucked it away very, very nicely. But then Al Hilal take the lead again, 3-2 from Koulibaly. It's a great header, but Ederson doesn't come to clear it again. There's an argument he should be punching that, or maybe even saving it. It's a good header from Koulibaly, but again, he's in this no man's land where he isn't able to pull off a save or dominate the area. He looks nervous, Ederson, every single moment. It's a brilliant header from Koulibaly, and at that point, I thought it was over. But then you're seeing this little interchange that I think we're going to see a lot of throughout of next season. That is Phil Foden and Cherki. It's a beautiful ball over from Cherki, and Phil Foden, outrageous finish, first time on his left foot, kind of a weighted kind of little dip finish into the far corner. It's an outrageous little touch from Phil Foden. And at that point, City should have at least the wherewithal to go beyond extra time into penalties. And it just didn't happen because Leonardo scores the fourth goal for Al Hilal. I have no idea how this happened. It's a brilliant ball from the left-hand side from Lodi into Savic. Again, Ederson parries it. It's a poor save. I'd say it's a poor save because at that level, you have to parry it wide. You can't parry it back into the danger area, and that's where Al Hilal score. You have to do more if you're Ederson. It is frustrating on that regard. Overall, the tournament is a frustrating one. I think you'd rather just lose in the group stages and get home early, have more of a pre-season. The fact you're in the knockout competitions, you want to win it. It's like all the other big European competitions. Yeah, fine. Going home early, there might be some bonus in terms of how Pep Guardiola sees it. He came out and sort of talked how it could have a bit of a delay onset effect for injuries and form in the Premier League later on in the campaign when we're talking December time. Ultimately, losing this early could be a little bit of a benefit. But if you're on a knockout stage of a global competition like the FIFA Club World Cup, and you're playing against sides that are absolutely massive, the Real Madrids of the world, the Bayern Munichs of the world, the Inter Milans of the world that obviously just got knocked out as well, you want to ultimately try and win it. You want to ultimately put your foot on the competition, and it's a great moment in history. And losing to Al Hilal, a Saudi Arabian side, with all due respect, that we always question the quality of the league, they were absolutely scintillating today. And then you look at who's the manager behind them. If he's only had a few weeks there, Inzaghi, but they play with a ferocity, with a guile that we've seen Inter Milan have for so many years in the Champions League. Obviously, it's a ringing endorsement as well because Inter Milan just got knocked out by Fluminense. Thiago Silva was absolutely outstanding. So if you win these kind of competitions, you're opening yourselves up to whole different markets. And now the Saudi Arabian fans are going to have something over Man City for many, many years because this is a strong Man City side. There must have been £700 million worth of talent on the pitch today, including arguably the great striker in world football, and still couldn't get over the line. It is reminiscent of Crystal Palace. It is reminiscent of the Premier League campaign last season. Open defence, unsure goalkeeping, shaky goalkeeping, and some flair going forward. I mean, it's not enough to win the Premier League when you do that. It's not enough to win the Premier League without a rock-solid back line. And throughout the tournament, I've been saying to people, Ait Nuri's been exceptional. Ruben Diaz looks a lot better. Gvardiol alongside him makes him look a lot better as well. But then you're looking who's behind him, and Ederson for me would be the one player where I think actually there's been a lack of transfer rumours this summer about replacing him. I don't necessarily believe in just kicking players out if they have one or two bad seasons, but Ederson's form has been steadily declining in the last few years. You can get through a lot. You can have a rough patch in the Premier League. You can get through cup competitions with a goalkeeper. They save you 9 to 10 to 12 points a season. Top keepers, they really do. And Ederson now is at the point where I don't know if he's giving you that bonus. He's not a bad keeper. Is he world class now? No. Is he going to transform you in terms of crazy saves out of nowhere? I don't know if he is anymore. Real Madrid last season was obviously a far bigger game than Al Hilal. And Al Hilal, how Al Hilal 6 months later, it is a bit of an issue. Things haven't improved in that regard. That would be a big talking point for me. Ultimately, there are two ways of looking at the Club World Cup. One of them being it's a brilliant competition to win from a marketing perspective, from a fan perspective, from a confidence perspective going into the Premier League. And the other one has to be that maybe Man City going back early, have that rest, have an extra few weeks now to really reassess problems that are still resurfacing. This isn't a revolutionised Man City side. There's still the same issues from last season, particularly in the defence, particularly in the management of the games, particularly in where the possession goes, all the possession, but where does it go? How is it used by this Man City side? So there we go. City are out of the Club World Cup. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. Leave your thoughts down below, and I'll see you very, very soon.